Peace and blessings. Namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and it is another hot, beautiful day in North Carolina. But this message is going to be very, very heavy, okay? And I'm going to tell you now, it's not going to resonate with everybody. I'm just letting you know, okay? Because this is some detailed things that took place yesterday, all right? Now, I'm going to take you through the story of what actually happened and what I found out. So I don't know about any of you, but yesterday I was feeling very, very, very emotional. Okay, when I mean very emotional, like I was just crying, like the smallest little thing was triggering me. Okay, and it started off maybe around 4 or 5 in the morning. I was up. I typically wake up around that time. I have no idea why. I don't want to be up around that time because I go to sleep late in the evenings. And then, I'll go ahead and bathe or get whatever I got going on. And then I ended up taking a nap. Okay. I ended up taking a nap, maybe around 10 to around 11 or 12, something like that. And then I was just on my journey, and I'll go on my journey to, take my mother to run her errands and etc. Well, yesterday, I had a very hard time getting up. Like my body felt very, very drained. I had zero energy and I was being very, very emotional. And it was a stupid TikTok video that I was watching where, this cat was just meowing in this melodious tone and this guy was playing a piano behind it, and it just kept making me cry. And I ended up texting my group, to figure out, hey, do you have any idea why I would be crying over this video? So, both of my crew members was like, well, maybe you're empathizing with the cat. Like, they couldn't figure it out because the video was designed to be very funny, very jovial. But for some reason, everything was affecting me yesterday. Now, around, I guess around 10:30, 11 o'clock, I'm actually looking at my phone and I get a text message from one of my young dragons in Canada. And he was responding to the video that I did concerning the alchemy symbols, okay, the 4 elements. And I read his text message and he says, Sophie, you actually visited me, in the astral realms, and you wrote these symbols down, and I went on a mission. And I need to talk to you about it. And I'm telling him, okay, well, maybe we'll do it later on this evening because I have zero energy, pretty much right now. I don't know what's going on and I'm crying. So the young dragon says, okay, do I need to send energy your way? And I'm thinking, okay, sure, send the energy my way. And I'm telling you, he actually did it. When I say he actually did it, it was like I can feel wind, chills, in my body. And it was like I took a shot of espresso. All of a sudden I was up and I was like, well, thank you, for that. Meanwhile, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't balance my emotions at all. So dealing with, I go and I do the errands and stuff. I upload a video for Patreon. I didn't get it for all of you because it was a little bit controversial. So I uploaded a video yesterday for Patreon. And then, I come home and I'm trying to coordinate with my Canadian dragon, about these alchemy symbols that he said I gave him. Now, what's important for you to understand is a lot of people that are connecting with me are always telling me that I'm coming to them, in the astral realms, to either teaching them something, showing them something, revealing something. I know that I have the ability to astral travel, but I don't always remember when I'm doing it and what's being said unless something else triggers it. Okay, so I know that I can go into very deep sleeps. All right. And then I might wake up and I'm completely drained, and I don't know what's going on, with that. But I also know that typically during around a certain time of night, I'll go into a very deep sleep and I'll have my ancestors, my spirit teams, my angels that will always watch over my body, make sure that nothing is getting infiltrated, protecting the home, protecting the room while I'm doing this. So I'm reading his and he says, that I visited him. It's not the first time, I visit a lot of people. Some I remember, again, some I have no idea that I'm doing it. So he gets off, he tells me, listen, I really, really need to talk to you. And he gets off at 11 and he'll be home at 12:20, midnight. Okay, like after midnight. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of important. Once I read the details of what he said he had to do and what I gave to him, I figured out, okay, that's why I started off that video with somebody needs to hear this. This was for him. Okay, and maybe some others that can relate, but you'd have to leave that in the comments a little later on. But that's why I did that 4 elements video, because I was training this dragon some kind of way in Canada. So now we get on the phone, I'm reading it, and I say, give me the details of what happened. And he tells me that he was sent on a mission. Okay, and it was him and another younger dragon, I suppose. I got the fact that it was a younger dragon afterwards, because as he started talking, it started triggering what it is that actually happened. Okay, he said that I came to him and I gave him, a paper, and it had those symbols on it, like alchemy symbols on it, and it also had a mission with it. And I told him to read it out loud, and he read it out loud, and then him and another team member ended up going underground some kind of way and retrieving what looks like blood red crystals. Okay, he said these blood red crystals, if you were around them or if you handled them too long, it started to make you lose your mind. Like it was making people crazy. And so the guy that went with him ended up getting left behind because the crystals started affecting him. And if he did not get out of this facility quickly enough, he started to feel himself change as well. So as he's talking, I'm now trying to connect, because I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? Give me a moment. You know what I mean? So I start connecting while he's talking, and then I got the big picture. Some of us were in warfare yesterday. We were on an infiltration mission. Okay, we went underground to retrieve what looks like blood red diamonds, or a blood diamond, or blood red crystals. And as he was telling me this story, I started reflecting on that movie Jinn. Okay, if you've never seen the movie Wishmaster, I think it's the Wishmaster, where certain energies was harnessed in these stones. I started seeing that, and then I started remembering and seeing the mission. So what ended up happening was there was a little bit over, around, I'm not going to say over or under, but it was around 25 underground facilities yesterday that got infiltrated by the Dragon Clan and also light warriors. Okay, now this is going to sound a little bit strange to you, but I need for you to reflect yesterday how you felt between the hours of like 10 a.m. to maybe around 1 p.m. Okay, because that's when this all took place. Now, they went underground. We all went underground to retrieve these red crystals. These red crystals, blood red crystals, are not native to this earth. Okay, they were brought into this earth from another star system. All right, now what these crystals were designed to do is they take, oh my God, this is so difficult to say. They have the ability to harness human consciousness, okay? Not only do they harness human consciousness, but they can trap souls into these red crystals that we went to snatch from them, all right? Now, what was happening was there were soulless beings like clones that was walking on the earth that could be puppeteered or manipulated by these I'm going to say disagreeable reptilians that were underneath the ground. Okay, and these underneath the ground are below the military bases. Like there are levels and levels and levels and levels, and some of the lower levels humans have no access to. Okay, so but what they were doing was harnessing the consciousnesses of humans, trapping their souls into these blood red type crystals. Okay, and we went there to take these crystals from them so that we can release the souls back into the bodies. Okay, it was a soul swapping mission. It was an infiltration mission to strip them from their power. I found out that it was about 300 of us that went on this mission, and we lost close to 50. Okay, so that emotional thing that I was going through all yesterday came to light last night. Okay, in the middle of the night, I was emotional because we lost some family members in this mission. Okay, we were grossly outnumbered, and we were doing this strategically in different areas of the world. Okay, some did not make it back. The guy, the young dragon that went along with the Canadian dragon, ended up getting trapped there. Okay, so he's going to have to be recycled, but he wasn't assigned to that mission. It was only really the stronger, younger X-Men that was assigned to this mission, and this mission was heavily orchestrated by myself and others. Okay, and others who was like, okay, we got to go down here and get it. So we were giving out assignments, but we were sending it to the stronger vessels that could go down there and do the infiltration. Light workers and dragons went. Okay, and I'm not going to just be exclusive to the dragon clan, even though it was a lot of dragons that was doing this. But, you know, there was other beings of light that was also partnering in this same type of infiltration, because they're ready for these darker level, disagreeable beings to leave the earth. And what was keeping them in a lot of power was the fact that they had these human souls. And they was able to manipulate the clone armies that are on the earth. Okay, the soulless vessels that was on the earth. I know how this sounds. I'm sorry. But I was told last night that I had to talk about it, okay? So this will be relatable to some of you. It's not going to be relatable for all of you. And once again, if this does not resonate with you, please, just throw it away. But for those of you who know what goes on in these underground facilities, for those of you who, if I'm triggering something in your memory about blood red crystals, okay, try to tap in to that. Try to tap into that memory bank and understanding what actually happened. We traveled in Merkabas, okay, to get to the underground facilities. However, we could not hold the Merkaba form once we was there. So it really became infiltration. We had to sneak in and sneak out. And the longer that you held this bag of crystals, the more vulnerable you became of its influence, okay? And it's like a mind control type of thing. So my young dragon made it out alive because he's one of the powerful ones, okay? That can send energy, that can manipulate chi and all of that. But we lost about 50 of our family members in this expedition. The source of my crying, the source of my depression over the slightest little things, and I'm not going to say depression, but of my emotional state, was because of the family members that we lost during this time. However, there is very advanced weaponry in these underground facilities with these beings. Because we took the major part away from them, it kind of rendered them a little bit helpless, okay? Because now they did not have the control over the human minds anymore. Interesting enough about this whole thing was in 2021, like in the beginning of 2021, I and my brother in North Carolina, okay, was talking about a vision or a dream that I had. I don't even think they're dreams anymore, to be honest with you. I know I travel. So I'm only saying dream and visions to relate to others who may not understand astral travel or dimensional travel, okay? But we're going to use it as a dream. Whereas, there was a large group of people, we were underground somewhere, and there was a large group of people, and they were all marching in one direction, and they all were facing one direction, and there was a handful of us that was looking around. Now these groups of beings that was marching, they all were marching together systematically like a clone army, like they were blank, and we had to pretend to be like them. Okay, so when we got into this group, all of us had to keep our heads faced the same direction, and we had to mirror it. And I remember walking with the small group, and when I say I was down there with a small group, it was only maybe about 5 to 7 of us. And we were marching like this, trying to blend in with these groups of people, okay, that was marching towards what looks like a giant lift of some sort or elevator, but I know it was underground. I glanced over with my eyes to the right, and I saw a man that was standing on like a scaffold, and he was monitoring everybody that was going into this giant elevator. So I'm tying that into what actually happened yesterday, okay? The emotional state and what we did. I don't know how to convince any of you that this warfare is real, okay? I don't even know if I'm supposed to convince all of you of this, okay? But I am triggering those who are on assignment here, who understands these things, because one of the things you have to know, and why your discernment is so necessary and key during this time, is because a lot of things have been flipped upside down, and we were warned that it was going to be flipped upside down, even in the ancient texts, okay, writings. Now, what you are seeing, okay, is a lot of negative entities, hidden disagreeable reptilians, because I'm not going to group them all collective, okay, because I know that there is a team of light that encompasses all races, okay, or all species that are fighting for the exact same thing. But there are a group of negative reptilians and a group of negative draconians, okay? Their agenda and what they are doing right now is they're doing a mass movement of a anti-reptilian, anti-draconian campaign that is actually targeting the light beings under the guise that they are the light beings and the light beings are the dark beings. Pay attention. I cannot warn you strong enough, okay? This is why I am telling you, you have to have discernment and you have to look at the fruit. This is why that particular scripture was so important for you to look at the fruit, okay? Not the outside appearance, not the speeches, not what's being taught, what is being produced from the beings that you are listening to. All right? So you have negative beings posing as light beings, targeting light beings and teaching that the light beings are actually the negative beings. Why? Because they want control over humanity, and they're doing it in the way that they are actually fighting for humanity. Okay, remember the old tactic of problem solution. Problem solution. These same beings are creating the problems that humanity are actually facing so that they can come and look like the saviors for you. Okay, if you do not have the ability to think for yourself, someone else will think for you. Pay attention to the fruit of those around you. We went on this mission for humanity, and some of us had to fight against our own. Do you understand? It's no longer a thing of simply bloodlines, genetics, family, okay? We are producing family when we are in agreement with Source and God. That's our family. And yes, there's going to be many colors to this, okay? There's going to be many species to this. If you, chosen ones, have any residual information, if your body felt weird, if you were asleep, if you found yourself in a deep sleep around these hours of the day, let me know. Okay, I know some of you don't like commenting on my videos. Y'all rather send me text messages and emails, okay? And I get it, because it could possibly cause you to be a target as well. But if this has happened and you do comment, it will let you know that you're not insane, and you'll have the ability to connect with other people like you. They'll be able to see you. You'll be able to see one another. okay, instead of everyone just coming to me. If you experience any of this, if you've ever seen these blood red crystals, if you understand the underground government facilities, if you felt nostalgic, lethargic yesterday, not nostalgic, lethargic yesterday, emotional yesterday, physically fatigued yesterday, please let me know. This is an urgent message. I am Sophie. I love you all. Pay attention, dears. It's getting real now. Bye.